What's going on, everyone? I am Josh with 625 Media, and thank you for joining me on this special Thursday vlog post here on From the Attic. So if you've been paying attention at all, you know that I've been, gearing myself up and trying to motivate myself to finally do something with the voiceover side hustle. I have talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, but not really done anything to move forward with it. So on Friday, I finally got some demo pieces recorded, which I'm very happy about. I'm glad that I finally made that progress. Good. What I also have been talking about is how I wanted to document that process for you. How I wanted to show you what it was like to be some guy in his attic trying to record a demo to get some freelance work and try to make a few extra bucks doing it, right? It's the whole point. In fact, voiceover was the whole reason that From the Attic was created to begin with. Not because I wanted to show people, hey, look at me, I'm trying to do voiceover work. I've said it before and I'll say it now. The purpose of all of this is so you can see what I'm going through and grab the lessons from that. What can you learn from my successes? What can you learn from my failures? I wish that what I was going to show you here was a collection of lessons from my successes. So I watched back the video that I took Friday night of me recording that and mixing that. And while I had very good intentions for that video, I really wanted you to see start to finish what you go through and maybe pick up a couple things from me as I try to do this. What I'm going to show you this week is it's still within the goal of From the Attic, but I'm a little disappointed in myself because instead of showing you lessons and talking about the successes of the night, I'm going to talk about the failures. And the biggest glaring failure was the documenting, the vlogging of that whole process. Disappointed is a very weak word to explain how I feel about it. After I watched it back, I knew that I had to do something else with it. I knew that I couldn't show it to you and feel good about it and be like, yeah, okay, you're going to learn from that. It's good. It's great content because there's the only way I make this great content is if I do it this way. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to show you a few clips, but I just want to walk you through, what I did that night and how I'm feeling about the production side of things. Because I think even though I'm not very happy with the outcome, I still think that you can benefit from it. And I still think there's lessons that can be gained from all of this. So without further delay, it was Friday. I had just gotten home from work. I had most of the day already been thinking about, okay, I'm going to go up there. You know what? I'm going to record my demo this weekend. You know what? Tonight might be the best night to do it. So as soon as I get in the door, let's make sure that the house is taken care of, people are taken care of, and then let's go at it. So I did that, and I came up here, and I started already, getting my script ready and getting the microphone ready. I grabbed my other camera, and I said, you know what? If I'm going to vlog this, I need to introduce everything. So I set it up, and I did a couple takes of an introduction to try to, bring you guys in like I normally do. What's going on, everyone? I am Josh with 625 Media, and we are in the attic. Although it's a much different view. That part was okay. Not overly happy with it, but if that was the worst part of it, I could have lived with it if that were. But it gets much worse. I didn't have to do a lot of planning with it, though. I mean, it's really cut and dry. Just, hey, I'm Josh, here's what we're going to talk about, or here's what you're going to see. So I did 2 or 3 takes, felt comfortable with them, and it was time to record the demo. So I was like, okay, so let's let's change the camera angle and let's start recording. So not as glamorous as you probably thought it would be, but this is it. It's really just the same thing that you see every week on Sundays. This is where it starts to go downhill. Not because I couldn't get a good take, because I got a few good takes and I got enough to where I could put together some good pieces to put out there to try to get some work out of it. Typically when I do this, and I've talked about how I prepare and what I do to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, or I know what I'm going to say. Even if I don't know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm going to say. That was not the case. So I'm going to play as much as I can tolerate, which isn't very long. But you're going to understand that, I don't know, maybe I'm too hard on myself, but I just watch. Me sitting in front of this microphone, looking at a screen, although you can't see my screen now, but it's really just waveforms being recorded. Now, what I'll do at this point is I will bring up my short scripts that I've written, and I'll warn you ahead of time, kind of being silly a little bit with them, but I want to showcase what I'm able to do. So this is it. This is how you record a demo in your attic. What you don't see behind you is the moving blanket that I've got up. Of course, I talked about that before. I've also turned the air conditioner off up here, so it's going to get a little bit warm. I do have some lights on to make better imagery with the camera. So the funny thing about that is before I started recording that, the camera is sitting right here, right off the screen here, and I took a photo with it to make sure that what I wanted framed in. Obviously, the screen is there, and I'm saying, you can't see my screen. And then I say something about the imagery of it all, like, it doesn't get any better, because as you continue to watch that part of it, I haven't even gotten into recording the demo yet. But as you watch a little bit more of that, you realize that I'm just saying things to say things. I am just saying words to make it seem like I have a clue what I'm doing. But if you really listen to what I'm saying, I got no clue. No clue whatsoever what's going on. Or at least what I'm saying implies that. Now, I know how to speak into a microphone. I know how to record it onto a computer. And I know how to splice it together to make it something decent. But I could not talk about it to save my life. And here's the first lesson that comes of that. Because it's 45 minutes of that. You need to be prepared. You have to be prepared. There's no question. Okay? That right there, and what I watched and what I am still cringing over when I think about it, is the ill preparedness that I exhibited there when it came to creating the content that I wanted to deliver to you. That doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. Second lesson to parlay off of that: if you're not prepared, stop what you're doing. Absolutely quit what you're doing and get prepared. There's no excuse. Okay, now, I can be my biggest critic. And maybe it's not as bad as I still think it is. But I should have had the presence of mind to stop right there. To just stop and go, wait a second. What are you talking about? What are you saying? Because thinking back on it, there were times where I was just letting words come out of my mouth, in the back of my mind, I'm going, what did you just say? you've got no idea what you just said. That doesn't make any sense. So lesson 1, be prepared. Lesson 2, lesson 1.5, learn how to speak. Lesson 2, if you're not prepared, stop what you're doing and get prepared. Okay, it makes for bad content. It makes for bad advice. It's just a bad experience for you all around. Now, yes, I'm not showing it because of my own feelings of it, but I think I'm justified in how I feel about it. And if I'm going to feel this way about it, there's no way I want you to see that. Okay? There's no way, because you're not going to get anything useful out of it. In fact, you're going to get a bunch of bad advice and just bad content, and I don't want to give that to you. But what I do want to give you is a Minecraft mug. It wouldn't be a vlog without a cup of coffee and me pausing in the middle of it to take a drink. So I got into recording the demo, and there was a couple scripts that I'm actually using at this point. I got through the first one. I talked about, how I was feeling about it, and most of it was like, yeah, that was pretty good. I'm going to do it again. I'd read it. Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm going to do it again. And finally, I get done with the first one. I move on to the second one, and for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to start talking about the type of voice that I was using. Let's try it one more time. That voice is kind of hard to do. I think what I'm going to have to do, though, is break this up, like take pauses between each line, because it uses a lot of breath. It's a very breathy style that I'm using. I'm trying to give it girth, but have it be like sensitive at the same time. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to be now somewhat. Had I planned a little bit better, it probably would have been good to include, right? If you're changing your voice a little bit, you're using your voice to convey a message and emotion. You want to talk about how you're making that voice. The problem is that I just picked a voice and didn't really think about why I was picking it or think about how to articulate why I picked it. It was a little raspy. It was a little soft, a little airy. I did talk about the difficulty in doing it because I was using more air, which would have been good had the rest of it been good. Again, just not being prepared. So I got the second script done. And I was like, okay. There's a third one that I want to record. I'm not using it as a demo, but there's a third one I wanted to record for my own purposes. So I went ahead and recorded that one as well. And at that point, it was time to start mixing and splicing and getting these audio files prepared for release, right? You want to put them out in the world, trying to get a job. So my master scheme was, okay, we'll record me actually recording the scripts. And then I will do kind of like this, like what we do on Sundays. I will do that as I mix and as I splice and I process this audio so they can see what that's like. Great intentions, but I soon, even while recording it, soon realized that I wasn't ready to do that. There's no way I was ready to do that, at least to be able to sit there and talk about it. It's something that I've done hundreds of times before in the past. So to think that I'm not capable of it I'm definitely capable of doing that. In fact, I did do that. That's why I'm celebrating the fact that those pieces are done and I can move on to new ones and improve. But what I failed to consider, it's something that I asked you to consider weeks ago when I put together the checklist of whether or not you should be able to vlog. I didn't consider how much I would be able to talk about what I was doing. Yes, I have done that action hundreds of times. But what I failed to remember is how long it had been since I had actually done it, actually sat down and really had to think about, okay, how do I want to splice this? What effects do I need to put on here to make it sound good but not overly processed? What adjustments do I need to make? It's been so long that what happened was this. We're going to come up here. There's a ton of footage of that right there. Silence, me listening to an audio file over and over and over again to decide whether or not I like what I'm hearing, and then me fiddling around in the workspace going, what effect do I need again? Is it this one? No. I overestimated my abilities there. Definitely overestimated my abilities. So here's the third lesson, and I can't really sum it into a couple words, like be prepared. Or if you're not prepared, stop and get prepared. Confidence is a good thing. It's a very good thing. Without confidence in what I'm able to do, I would not be able to sit here in front of you today and talk about whatever it is that I'm talking about. This doesn't happen if I don't have any confidence. And a lesson that I've learned over and over again in my life, because I can let it take hold and take me wherever it takes me. There is a very fine line in which confidence can make you cross, and you're not even sure you crossed it until it's too late. Having confidence and being overly confident to a point where it doesn't matter in your head what's really going on, you just think it's the best thing ever and you're right no matter what it is that comes out of your mouth. It's a bad thing. It's a really bad thing, and that's ultimately what happened to me on Friday night. I was riding a wave of confidence, like, yeah, I'm getting better at this. The blog, I'm not seeing huge success, but I'm getting better. I'm seeing results. Okay, let's do this. I'm an expert now. The other thing that I didn't consider, and I should have, because I know me, and I know me better. I should know me better than anyone else. I've lived with me my whole life. We're going to have a lot of accomplishments. We're going to have many, many, many big and small accomplishments. And we should celebrate all of those. But we've got to keep in check our own egos, because if our ego takes control and determines how big an accomplishment really is, confidence takes over, takes you over that line, and it's over.
It's almost midnight.
But I did it. I did it. Victory. Yes, victory. That's, I think, ultimately what happened, is that the fact that I was actually making progress was something that week after week I have said, yeah, I haven't touched it. Yeah, I haven't touched it. Oh, here's a blog post. Yeah, I haven't touched it. Excuse me. I finally made some progress, and I felt like I was on top of the world. It didn't matter. It didn't matter to me what I was saying to you. I was accomplishing something, and you were watching it. That's the only reaction I can give. It was that bad. It was that bad, at least in my opinion. So here's my promise. Here's my promise moving forward. I'm still going to be recording demo material for voiceovers. I can't just let these two small pieces carry me into the sunset. I've got to, just like with the blog and with any other content that I might be creating, it has to be updated every now and then. You have to put out fresh, or it just sits there and it's old, it's irrelevant. No need for it anymore. So I will be doing more. And the next time I do this, I'm going to do it right. So that way you can see what's going on. That way you can see what I'm going through. And I'll make sure that, one, I'm prepared to do that for you. Two, I'm just trying to get that in camera. Two, if I'm not prepared, I'm going to stop it immediately and get myself prepared, because you deserve the best content that I can possibly provide you. And three, I'm going to keep my ego in check, because that right there is the downfall. That right there is the downfall. All right, so I hope that those lessons will serve you well. And if they don't, I hope this bit of honesty helps us grow and become better friends. No, but I want to thank you for joining me this week. Of course, you can join me again on Sunday. We'll talk about the week as a whole. We'll talk about stats and updates and what to expect moving forward. But that's all I got for you today. Please make sure that you're following us on all of the social medias, every single one of them, or at least the 5 that I care about. You got Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, 625 Media. Look it up. Follow us, like us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because it's the only way you're going to know when I'm posting new material. It is. It's just what it is. All right. So, again, thanks for joining me here on The Attic. Again, I'm Josh. I'll see you on Sunday.